Life Over Coffee. Conversations for Transformation.
Parents have the responsibility and the privilege of guiding their children into a practical experience of knowing and loving God. Though all children are born with limited God awareness, you can cooperate with the Lord in connecting that immature, innate awareness of God in practical ways that could lead to their salvation and their progressive sanctification. In 1 John 4:18, it says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear." For fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love. The primary ways you do this are through your attitudes, words, and actions, as you're helping them to understand who God is, leading to them into salvation. These three characteristics, your attitudes, your words, your actions, become the most significant shaping influences that will motivate your kids to either imitate or reject you, which will affect how they respond to Jesus ultimately. Though you cannot make your children righteous or unrighteous, God calls you to cooperate with Him in their salvation. You do this by modeling the life of Christ before them and teaching them all the things that He has taught you. If you are not modeling and teaching the life of Christ to your children, the chances of them rejecting your Christ and Christianity by the time that they are teenagers are exponentially higher than if you humbly present Christ to them while they are young. The biggest culprit that hinders their thoughts about Christ is fear, which is one of the first sin patterns that you see in their lives. So naturally, you want to be proactive in helping your child to overcome fear, which is why I have listed for you here, and I want to share with you 7 negative patterns for your consideration. Now, if any of these things represent you, it would be wise to remove them from your life, because as you do, then fear will begin to be assuaged in your children's lives. Here are 7 negative patterns that will affect any child adversely, specifically in the area of fear, but also in other ways too. A distant parent, an angry parent, an abusive parent, a critical parent, a preoccupied parent. Number 6, an impatient parent. And then number 7, a divorced parent. Some of these traits may be unavoidable, I do recognize that, but you must know that they can become mental strongholds that will negatively shape your child. Being born in Adam is to be born with fear, among many other things, which makes fearfulness part of everyone's Adamic wiring. Younger children are highly susceptible to fear. They need the security of a family community. If they do not find it, the temptation will be to hunt for a safer community outside of their family as they become older. Running from fear and toward acceptance is one of the primary reasons a teen will distance himself from non-Christ-like parents. He is looking for a more approving and loving community. Knowing this tendency and the accompanying temptation should motivate you to build a friendly and safe environment for your child. A simple biblical template to create this kind of home is the fruit of the Spirit, a constellation that we see in Galatians 5:22 and 23. These 9 elements give you a snapshot of what Christ was like and what you should be to your children. Examining Paul's template of Christ-likeness to see how well you are doing or any need for change would be vital. You can preface each Christ trait with this question: are my children experiencing the fruit of the Spirit through me? And so here is a snapshot of what Christ was like using the fruit of the Spirit. The love of Christ. Are my children experiencing the love of Christ through me? The joy of Christ. Are they experiencing the joy of Christ through me? The peace of Christ, the patience of Christ, the kindness of Christ, the goodness of Christ, the faithfulness of Christ, the gentleness of Christ. Are my children experiencing the gentleness of Christ through me? And then, of course, the self-control of Christ. You cannot save your children or make them holy, I understand. You also cannot live perfectly. I definitely understand that. But you can choose not to complicate their lives, which you can do if you give them the most precise possible picture of Christ. And one of those illustrations I just gave you, Galatians 5, the fruit of the Spirit. Now it's time to parent. Talk to a friend, preferably your spouse, about how the fruit of the Spirit is manifesting in your life. If there are any areas that you need to change, detail a specific and practical plan so that you can begin changing. This is Parenting Devotion, day number 29. One reason children rebel against their parents.
Thanks for joining us. Learn more and get access to other resources at lifeovercoffee.com.